This is Mission Control Houston. We want to welcome you to today's ISS update. It is Wednesday, October 17th, 2012. This is a live view inside the space station flight control room here at the Johnson Space Center. On board the orbiting complex today, the crew of Expedition 33 is busy working on a number of different science experiments and also some routine maintenance. They're also working inside the Quest airlock today. There you see Sonny Williams there on the right, who is the commander of Expedition 33, as well as Aki Hoshide, who is a flight engineer on board. They are inside Quest getting their spacesuits ready for an upcoming spacewalk that will take place over the next couple of weeks toward the end of October, early part of November. The crew is going to be going outside to take a look at the P6 radiator that is out there on the far left-hand side of the station, out there near the solar arrays. There are radiators out there that circulate ammonia through them to keep all the electronics and all the equipment on board the space station cool. There is a leak on one of those radiators out there that the crew is going to be going out there to address and to mitigate and to install some jumpers to take care of that. The exact timing of that spacewalk will be approved by the space station program here shortly, and then we'll know exactly what day and what time we are targeting for the spacewalk. But in between now and then, the crew is already reviewing the procedures on board for that spacewalk and also getting their equipment ready to go to step outside. This will be the 7th spacewalk for Sonny Williams. It'll be the 3rd for Aki Hoshide. These two no strangers to going outside conducting these spacewalks during their time on board the space station. In addition to this, Sonny Williams today has some activities inside the Destiny laboratory. She's going to be calibrating one of the oxygen sensors on what's called the compound-specific analyzer. This is a tool that's used on board to analyze the environment inside to make sure that there's no compounds that are not expected to be there, just to make sure that everything on board the space station is acceptable and is a good living environment for the crew. She's going to be transferring some water from some water containers into a water storage tank. She's also going to be deactivating some mixing tubes that came up as part of the NanoRacks Module 9 experiment. This is a student experiment that flew last week on board the SpaceX Dragon spacecraft, and the crew is taking care of that. And, of course, those results will be returned to Earth at the end of the mission for the students to analyze. Aki Hoshide is taking some samples inside the Japanese laboratory, the Kibo laboratory, of different microbes around there. We talked about this yesterday. It's part of a microbial detection experiment and activity. Throughout their time on board the space station, the crews take a lot of samples of the water, of the air, and also the surfaces, just to make sure that there's no bacteria or fungus growing there that's not to be expected. This does two things. It makes sure that the space station is as clean as can be for the crew, but it also gathers data to study how these things grow inside the space environment on the surfaces there, which is going to be incredibly important as we venture on longer journeys past the International Space Station to destinations like an asteroid or onto Mars. Yuri Malenchenko also working in the Russian segment. He's working on a couple of different Earth observatory experiments back in that part of the space station. One's called Albedo, that takes a look at the what amounts to the whiteness of the Earth. It's basically the reflective light that comes off of the planet below. He's going to be using a camera to take images of that. He's also working on something called relaxation, which is not what it sounds like. This actually takes a look at how plasma discharges affect the upper reaches of Earth's atmosphere. He'll be using a camera on that one as well. Down at the Baikonur Cosmodrome, the 3 remaining crew members of Expedition 33 that will be joining the current ones on board, Oleg Novitsky, Yevgeny Tarelkin, and Kevin Ford, are undergoing final training and final procedures as they get ready for their upcoming launch, which will take place on October 23rd. That launch time is scheduled for 5:51 a.m. Central Time. Again, October 23rd, 5:51 a.m. Central Time. Of course, we'll have live coverage here on NASA television of that. They'll be docking 2 days later on October 25th at 7:35 a.m. Central Time, 8:35 a.m. Eastern Time. Again, docking on October 25th at 7:35 a.m. Central Time, 8:35 a.m. Eastern Time. Of course, we'll have live coverage here on NASA TV of that as well. Our coverage will originate from the Mission Control Center just outside of Moscow.